Have you ever walked into a room and instantly just shrunk? You start overthinking your hair, your outfit, your accent, your title, and you go from I'm here to let me just blend into the wall. What if I told you you can have presence without being the loudest, the funniest, or the most qualified person there?
Today we're talking about how to make your presence felt in any room, whether at work, at church, in social settings, without pretending to be someone you're not.
So, if you have ever walked out of a room thinking, why didn't I just speak up? Why did I downplay myself? This one is for you.
What's up, Elevation Zone TV, the place where faith meets forward motion.
Step into the zone. Step into the zone. Welcome to the zone, yeah, where we rise and grow, yeah. Faith and purpose, watch us overflow, yeah. Level up your mind, spirit and your soul, yeah. Elevation zone, elevation zone.
What's up, Elevation Tribe? Welcome back to the Elevation Zone TV because growth is the new goal. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Carol, and today we're talking about presence. How to show up fully in the rooms God sends you into. So, let's clear this up from early. Presence does not mean you have to be the loud one, the extrovert, or the non-stop talker.
That's true. You can be the quiet and powerful, the soft spoken and influential one. Presence simply means when you're in the room, you're actually there. You're not hiding, you're not shrinking, and you're not apologizing for existing.
So, whether you're naturally the life of the party or more observe and warm up, this episode is not about changing your personality. It's about owning your space.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
Yeah.
So type in the comments below right now. Are you more of an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Or are you're in between? We want to see who is in the Elevation Tribe, what the mix is like.
Right. Follow instructions. Presence begins before you open the door. 3 questions we tend to ask ourselves when we're walking into a new room. Well, I do it. Who sent me here? Am I walking in as a random person? Am I someone random off? Just who am I? Right? Or as someone God placed in that space on purpose.
Wow.
What do I bring? Maybe it's clarity, calm, creativity, encouragement, insight. You're not walking in any room empty. You carry something.
True.
Who can I serve? Presence grows when you stop thinking. We overprocess a lot. Do they like me? And we start thinking all these thoughts. Who can I bless or support in this room?
Right. And like sometimes right before you go into the space as well, you want to whisper a quick prayer. So like, God, help me to be fully present and useful. Because remember, you're in that room for a purpose, right? So you want to be useful in the space. So this will help to ground you.
Yeah. Try it this way, guys. Before your next meeting or event. And guys, this can be used in your corporate or church spaces. Pause for 10 seconds and remind yourself, I belong here.
You do.
I bring something here.
Yep.
I'm not an accident. Yeah.
True. All right. So now let's talk about the part people see first. Your body language. She's doing it right now.
A few small shifts can completely change how you feel and how people read you. Right? Your shoulders, you always say, sit properly in the chair, sit up. Right? Instead of hunching forward, think shoulders back, spine tall, chin relaxed, not rigid, just open.
Yeah. And the next one, eye contact. If full eye contact feels intense, and sometimes it can, just use, there's a trick called a triangle trick. So this one now, you look near their eyes and then you briefly look to their nose or their forehead and then back again. Yes, so it's to their eyes, then the nose, then the forehead, and you do it all over again. You see that? Triangle. Right. And you look more engaged without feeling like you're staring them down.
Yes. And another one is hands visible, right? Don't hide your hands in your sleeves, or, you fold your hands like this, or under the table, or you're playing with your phone somewhere. Like, relaxed hands on the table, or gently gesturing says, I'm open, I'm engaged.
The next one, we'll call this the LO zone. So when you walk in, don't head straight for the corner. You're going to pause, you look around, you make eye contact with one person, just one, and say, hi, I'm Natalie, how are you? You'd give a little smile. Just one genuine greeting can unlock the whole room, because you never know, maybe that person knows someone or knows someone else in the room and they can introduce you, and before you know it, a conversation starts up.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Presence is not just how others see you, it's how your body signals to you that you're allowed to be there. Someone can identify and realize when you're uncomfortable, and you just look awkward in a space, like you shouldn't be here. It's recognizable. So that is why body language is so important.
Very important.
Yeah.
And some of us are not shy until it's time for you to actually talk. Then your voice drops, the sentence get cut short, and you rush through everything, even when you know what you want to say.
It's true. It's true. Here's one simple tweak to that, I think. Slow your first sentence down by 20%. Instead of, hi, I'm Carol, nice to meet you.
That's fast.
Try, hi, I'm Carol, nice to meet you.
Yeah. So you don't need a speech either. You just need to be clear and use calm sentences. So here are a few entry lines you can use in almost any room. Hi, I don't think we've met yet. I'm Natalie. And of course, that's open-ended. So naturally, the person is going to say, and I'm, and a conversation starts up. Then you can ask, how did you hear about this event? And that's a whole other conversation, because it could be social media or ad somewhere, somebody told you. A lot to talk about right there. Or what do you do outside of work or church? And that brings you closer into learning something more about them. And you never know, maybe your hobbies are similar.
That's so true. So, boy, we're dropping nuggets today. I hope you're paying attention. Steal them.
Yeah.
Use them. Make them your own. Presence grows when you stop waiting for the perfect moment. Just join the conversation gently. Right?
Right. So we're going to do a quick heart check right now, because there's a difference between presence and performance. You want to tell them the difference?
I think presence says, I'm going to show up fully as myself.
Yeah, that's it.
Authentic.
Yeah, that's it.
Performance says, I'm going to become whatever I think I need to do for me to be accepted.
We don't want that one.
That's what we don't want. Be your authentic self. And I just want to kind of elaborate more on that point, because sometimes we think, oh, I'm being my true self. We have to be cognizant of the spaces that we're in. We have to be aware. So you don't go to a corporate setting and start preaching. I'm not saying you don't speak about God. I'm saying you just have to be aware. So not because you're a pastor or you're a minister in the church, no, you go in and you're shouting and you're, preachy. It's not a preachy moment. So maybe you think that's your authentic self, but that's a part of you. And your authentic self should be able to recognize there's a different tone, a different attire, a different action that's required dependent on the spaces we occupy.
Yeah, that's big. That's important.
Yeah.
I think we often say you're supposed to read the room.
Yes.
It's not the setting
Yes.
for that. So don't do that. Don't jump to that.
Yes.
Right. And as it relates to the presence and the performance, one will leave you drained and the other will leave you rooted.
Yes.
So you want to be rooted. You don't want to be drained or leave that setting feeling like you did not do your best. You did not represent yourself the best way.
Yeah. It's like if you tend to go to these events and you're somebody, or your life or your job or your career or your ministry takes you into rooms in front of many, and you're always feeling exhausted, it might be because you're performing,
Right.
not just showing up.
Right. And remember, you don't have to be the funniest.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the smartest or the most put together in terms of your attire. But you have to be honest, you have to be kind, and you have to be present.
Yeah. Yeah. Elevation Tribe, we don't just talk. If you've been following us for a while, we don't just talk.
You're going to do something?
Yeah. We practice. So here's your one bold thing or challenge for this week. Pick one room you'll be in. It could be a very living room, your family room, how you show up in front of your kids and your family, your friends, right? A meeting, a class, a church event, even just a regular social gathering, as I was saying. Decide on what you'll do. Ask one question. Share an idea. Introduce yourself to one person. I think that's a big one.
Yeah,
Introduce
that's a big
yourself
one.
to one person.
I'm going to take that on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take that on.
Give one genuine compliment. And after you do it, write it down. Or comment under this video
Yeah,
what you're going to do so we hold you accountable.
right. Yeah.
My one bold thing this week was, because I'm going back to the comments, we're going to go back there. We review our comments. Is one thing with us.
Yeah, we do.
Right?
For real,
So,
we
yeah.
do. And then building presence is like building your muscle. You go to work out each day. You try and you improve. So you won't get all the abs in just one sitting, one sit-up. But you grow by doing small, consistent reps. So that is what we're going to start doing. Small, consistent reps until you get it. Yeah.
Until. So this week, that one bold thing is your rep. We start small, right? So the consistency of it helps you to grow. Remember, growth is our goal. Remember, tagline? Int. Right.
And we also want to hear, like, what kind of rooms do you struggle in the most? Is it when you're at your work meetings? Is it when you're at church? Or even when you gather social gatherings? And yeah, as Carol mentioned, drop that one thing, the bold thing that you will do this week in the chat.
Yeah. And you might be surprised how many people feel the same way you do.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You're not the only one in the room wondering if you belong. We're growing together.
So let's grow. Let's go. If this episode helped you think about your confidence and your presence in a new way, hit that like button, subscribe, tap the bell so that you don't miss more conversations like this.
And share this with a friend. who always shrinks in the room or always get overly anxious when they know they have a presentation or they have to speak in front of a few people. But you know they have much more in them. Show them this video. Share it with them.
Thank you so much for watching. This is the Elevation Zone TV.
Because growth is the new goal.
See you next week.
We shall rise again. We shall rise and spread our wings once again. We shall rise again. With the help from our brothers and our friends. We shall rise again. We've done it before, now we can do it once again. We shall rise again. Little bit of help from our family and friends.
A moment of change and now it's spinning. The warning is